the session. So without further ado, I would like to introduce our first speaker, Ben Wallace, the Secretary of State for Defense.
Good afternoon, conference. And can I just say, as a Lancashire MP, it's really nice to be here in Manchester at the heart of the Northwest. I don't apologise for the rain. It's managed to defeat the protesters, I noticed. I think some of them don't really like a shower from time to time, so I suspect that's what's driven them away. The amazing thing about this region is its contribution to wealth, science and innovation to the rest of the nation, and its reputation is unrivaled. It's a region that builds our ships, our submarines and our aircraft that we use to keep our nation safe. In fact, Northwest aerospace industries have a combined turnover of £7 billion and export all over the world. You know, it wasn't for nothing that Mr. Rolls met Mr. Royce in the Midland Hotel 115 years ago, and the rest, you could say, is history. The pursuit of excellence is what our defence companies do, which is why we rely on them to supply our armed forces. Excellent defence anchored in engineering excellence, a partnership that supports jobs and skills up and down the spine of the United Kingdom, spreading prosperity and creating wealth and paying taxes. I was delighted in July to have been appointed Secretary of State for Defence. It is a great privilege to be in charge of a department that has within it so many amazing men and women whose can-do attitude and dedication to duty ensures we can sleep soundly at night as a nation. As a former soldier, it felt like coming home. Now, I have to admit that when I served, I was not the highest of flyers. I was not always in the good books. Indeed, I was often in receipt of numerous extra guard duties for one transgression or another. But I wouldn't have missed my years in uniform for the world. The camaraderie, the sense of purpose, and the experiences equipped me for life. And yes, we faced danger and saw things no one else should have to see, but we did it together. And we did it because deep down, we believed in the values of this great country. Those values haven't changed. Our belief in freedom, the rule of law, tolerance and democracy. Our armed forces are the vanguard of those values. They are the most important equipment of all, and it is our duty as politicians to honour them with honesty and clear leadership. For too many decades, politicians have had greater ambitions than they were prepared to fund. Funding pressures were dealt with not by doing less, but by hollowing out and leaving our forces overstretched or overspent, or both. In September, the Prime Minister and the Chancellor recognised the importance of defence by putting their money where their mouth was. The record £2.2 billion settlement now means we can properly deliver both the investment into our people and into our future capability. With the new funding, we will invest in better accommodation, better childcare for the workforce, and career pathways for our armed forces. And we can ensure that we don't overstretch and run down our equipment. And that is why, as the new shipbuilding czar, I was able to confirm the order of 5 new British-made Type 31 frigates earlier this month. Much of what defence does is often unseen, over the horizon or deep under the oceans. But that doesn't mean it doesn't matter. It does. In the 21st century, securing the nation is no easy task. The threats ranged against us come from far and wide, from terrorists, from states, and from natural phenomena. Our security is threatened in different dimensions: land, sea, space, cyber, day and night, and winter and summer. Our adversaries constantly look for new means and attack vectors. In the 21 years since I have left the army, warfighting has changed beyond all recognition. Drones, the internet, satellites, artificial intelligence all pose new challenges. Much of what we do overseas, such as fighting against ISIL, is designed to keep our streets safe here at home. And as Defence Secretary, I'm determined to meet these 21st century challenges by delivering reform. It's vital that the UK delivers an up-to-date defence capability that allows us to not only defend ourselves, but to also ensure we play a leading role in shaping the globe, supporting our allies and protecting the rules-based system. Last week, on the eastern reaches of Ukraine, I observed Russian separatist trenches at first hand. But our friends in Ukraine aren't alone. Our army is there too, training and advising, making sure Russian efforts to undermine the international rule of law that we all live by are not successful. And at home, our troops are ready and able to help mitigate the consequences of terrorism or floods that we saw this year. In fact, our armed forces always stand ready to contribute to that most vital duty of government, defence. The Ministry of Defence I lead is lucky to have an excellent team of ministers. Mark Lancaster, Baroness Goldie, Anne-Marie Trevelyan, Johnny Mercer and Leo Doherty. That means there are 4 ministers who have served in the armed forces working in the department. Unprecedented, I am sure. But let's contrast our team with Labour's. A leader and shadow chancellor who spent more time honouring dead terrorists than they have British veterans. A leader who, when me and my soldiers were fighting the IRA, he was sipping tea with them. And a Labour Party who would shut down our defence industries out of a misguided ideological crusade, as ever, playing politics with people's livelihoods. After Brexit, Britain will want to spread her wings to new markets and new territories. We will want to strengthen our international links. For example, the Five Eyes nations, the US, Australia, Canada, New Zealand and ourselves already trust and share the same values. In defence, we must embrace them even more, helping each other from the Arctic to the Pacific. But most of all, defence must be global Britain's tip of the spear, the spine of our great nation. It must be modern and potent, ready and able. And as Defence Secretary, I'm determined to deliver just that. Thank you very much.